Hey. Happy Monday. I'll go fast on this. Not gonna be here long. Hey. How are we doing? Hey. Hey. So I wanna talk. Can we talk for a second? I'll give it a few more moments just because. How is our Monday going? How is your Monday? Hey everyone. Happy Monday. How are you doing? Today I'm going to talk to you about, I don't want you to do what I did. Is that okay? I don't want you guys to have to job stack. I don't want you guys to have to job stack. I don't want you to have to do what I did. Hey guys, how we doing? Hey. So you might have followed me, or you might have came about from my interviews on Tech is New Black or Tech Jobber or wherever. And the truth is let's talk about it. Me job stacking and doing those things probably were unethical, right? My time wasn't in the right places, which I agree. We're gonna have a real conversation because I don't want you guys to do what I did. Your skills and your experience and your positioning should speak for itself. Now, I'm never going to tell you not to work too if you don't want, right? You read your contracts, NDAs, and stuff like that. But ultimately, I want you to understand that you can make an authentic career pivot. Me landing multiple roles and working multiple roles was simply actually an accident. And someone coming from $40K a year to being able to work multiple and bringing the type of income that I was remote, it changed my life. But I want you guys to realize that what I did was not about me job stacking. What I did was I made a pivot without experience, and I made a pivot without a degree, and I made a pivot without certifications. So I want you guys to understand that if you are looking at possibly job stacking or doing that, I want to talk about a few things because we're seeing this in the market. Sorry, they're cleaning back there. We're seeing this in the market where companies are actually having people come into work or do a training day because of people working remote, job stacking, and things of this nature. So the truth of the matter is, I'm not going to tell you not to work too, but I'm also not going to encourage you to. Here's why. One, you can get red flags. Well, first of all, the first reason is because it's really not moral, right? It's not ethical. Not moral, but it's not ethical to really work too, unless you're like on a contract where the company is okay with that, which I still work contracts. I did have a direct hire, but my other roles were contracts. And they were actually okay as long as I showed up. But the average company, most companies, like those are very slim where you can work multiple and they're okay, right? Again, it's not that I was telling somebody that I was doing that. I did my job. But what came into play with that is I also got up early and worked late. I didn't play with the time. So I did my job. So my message to you today is, one, don't do what I did and think job stacking is what you just should be doing. And if you got questions about the homework, you should post that inside the Road to QA community in a discussion thread. So ultimately, I want to share with you guys that if you're following me, you found me from a platform and you're talking about job stacking. Me talking about job stacking is not to encourage you to do it. Me talking about job stacking is to be honest with my story. Can I be honest with you guys? Let me know. I think a lot of times people ask, how did I do it? How did I get there? Yeah, I did it. And it wasn't always easy. I didn't have easy days. But ultimately, I want you guys to be ethical. All right? So I had someone, thank you. Yeah, so me sharing my story about job stacking is me being honest. But my honesty is actually telling you that without certifications, a degree, or experience, I made a career pivot from technical support. And I went from $40K a year to making that much money job stacking. But even on a singular job now, I can land roles that's almost $70K per hour. I'm sorry, not $70K, $70 an hour. So I want to be honest with you guys to let you know that you actually job stacking could also hurt you. It could get you red flagged. If you get red flagged, that means companies and recruiters have your name. And you can get red flagged for different reasons, right? Maybe, even with interviewing or something like that. So just be careful that you can get red flagged by recruiters and companies And no problem. So I want you to be careful of that. So again, my story, I'm gonna repeat this one more time. My story to tell you that I job stack is to encourage you more so for the pivot and that it's possible, not to tell you the job stack. I'm simply being honest with my story. Now, the benefits of me job stacking, I made more very fast, and I was all remote, and I learned skills very fast. So me job stacking allowed me to learn different QA skills and experiences and have scenarios very fast. So that's why in my program, I'm able to speak and teach from 8 different scenarios of a day in the life of QA, because I've actually had 8 different QA roles. But just because I job stack does not mean I want you to, nor does I'm not going to tell you not to, but doesn't mean I'm telling you to do that, because you can get red flagged. What if you can't, what if you have your other role and then another company finds out and then you lose both jobs? Right. $70 an hour. So you are at risk. And most importantly, it is unethical, right? I had somebody say unethical on my post, and I was like, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. What I did was probably not what I should have been doing. Now, I'm gonna sidebar because I had 2 companies that actually was okay. All right. I had 2 companies that was okay. But I want you guys to be careful, and I want you guys to understand that my teachings is to teach you the skill set and the positioning so that you can actually be able to make a pivot and then make good money within that actual income of that singular job. All right. Can't you contract and do multiple roles? It depends on the company. No, the companies didn't know. I did my job well. I got up early. I stayed on late. I showed up to meetings. I was always on track. So the only difference is that I did give time to other roles. But yeah, meetings can be hard. Everyone doesn't understand, like, why do people? Everybody doesn't understand. Nice pivot with purpose. Yeah, so I want you guys to take from my stories, not the making 400,000, my household bringing in that in with multiple roles. I mean, I do know people that still job stack. I have students that still do it. Yes, I don't encourage it, but I'm not going to tell you don't do it. I'm going to tell you read your terms and know what you sign into, and be careful because you don't want to lose both. So if you decide to job stack, the first thing I want you to do is be careful and make sure that you have read any terms, NDAs, or make sure that you haven't signed into something. And then the second thing is to be honest with, you are risking yourself. You're risking yourself to be red flagged. You're risking yourself possibly if the other job does find out and you lose both. You're risking yourself in the way of meetings clashing, just like the gentleman said, and then you get stressed out and it don't work out anyway. You're still at risk, right? So I want you to be mindful. We can talk about the wonderful aspects of me bringing in that amount of money with job stacking, but I still was at risk every day. But again, you're talking to someone who came from making making about 40K per year. So for me, that changed my life, but it also gave me skills. Was that helpful? Let me know. We ain't got to be on here all day. But what we was talking about was I was talking about job stacking and just letting you guys know that I understand if you came from the different podcasts and seen me, but I do not encourage job stacking to say just do it. I'm not going to tell you not to, but I am going to tell you that you are putting yourself at risk. You're putting yourself at risk ethically. I mean, again, you're being unethical. It is. I'm not going to lie to y'all, right? Changed my life, but at the same time, now you can work freelance, right? Now again, freelance can still come with restrictions depending on the company. You have to read your terms and know, what you can and can't do. So I think that is, so job stacking is when you're working multiple jobs at one time. So at the most, I've had 8 different QA roles in my career up until last year. I had my last QA role right now. I'm almost currently, because I actually left that role so I can focus on road to QA in a bigger light this year. And then I'm going to the market as a QA manager. But I want to share my story honestly, because you guys are coming to me and you're seeing these podcasts, you're seeing the numbers, you're seeing me job stack, but you don't understand the weight that put on me. You don't understand that is unethical too. You don't understand that I could have been red flagged. You don't understand that I could be red flagged right now. I could be red, like, companies know my name. I'm on podcasts, I'm speaking this. I could, be a threat, or I could, like, that also is the reason why companies are having y'all come in. Because so many people job stacking. They feel like you're not using company time, right? So if we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it. I'm not just going to say I job stack and then tell you that what I did wasn't per se wrong. Right now, it wasn't all the way wrong because, again, I had two of my companies were actually okay with it. Because all they cared about was, did I get the project done? That's all they cared about. I didn't know you can't work more than one job. Again, it depends. What did you sign into? Is that company, and when you say more than one, I'm talking about at a time, right? If you're supposed to be available 9 to 5 for one and then 9 to 5 for another, I didn't think too much about ethical part either. Like, I was fighting for my life, so I did what I had to do. Right. And so I think it's just the truth. I think I want to be honest with you guys because it's still, I don't want someone to look at my story and think, oh, I'm going to do that too. And then something goes wrong, right? I need to hold you accountable too, to understand that what I did was a risk. But ultimately, my story is to share with you, not the aspect of working multiple. The aspect of me working multiple is to be honest with you about my journey, how I got here, how I got into QA, how I gained the skill, how I've been able to help 5 of my family members and friends land roles, and how I've been able to help almost 100 people do it. And it wasn't about the job stacking, it was about the skill set, the understanding, and the positioning to be a quality assurance analyst. Me job stacking gave me more experience very fast. Me job stacking allowed me to speak in scenarios backwards and forwards and tell you a day in the life, right? No problem. So I do have students that may have multiple QA roles. I know a few. But again, my students still have to understand that if you make that choice, make sure you read into everything you're doing, know if you're supposed to be, just with that company during that time. And then also, it's about being ethical to that company. Absolutely. I'm not here to tell you guys not to be ethical. I'm not here to tell you guys to be unethical and to work multiple and be on one company's time on another company. I would never tell you to do that. So again, the topic is actually talking to you about don't get red flagged, don't do what I did. My story is to encourage you that you can make an authentic career pivot. Now, when I say authentic, I made a career pivot using my transferable skills and positioning into QA and telling the right career stories and learning how to understand how to position. So we're talking about also being red flagged from companies, being red flagged by recruiters if they find out you're doing that and they don't like that. You can be red flagged in the system. It's the truth. So I'm not going to tell you something that I did and then also tell you that there are not cons to that. You have to consider that. You have to consider that if you take one role and that company thinks that you're supposed to be on their time, but then you take another role and you're working remote and you're doing both and the company finds out, you can actually lose both. You can be red flagged. Then when you're red flagged, it makes you harder to even get interviews. So you still are taking a risk. So I will never tell you that what I did is not a risk. You can have, now, unless you are, again, it depends. Are you a contractor, freelancer, and what are the terms? But if you're direct hire, especially, so this is specifically, how they gonna find out? I can't tell you. Unless they went digging or something or you gave them a reason. I'll tell you one way they'll find out if they feel like you've been slacking and maybe they do some research or search and then, like when you actually join a direct hire company, you have to fill out a W-9? Shows you're employed? W-9, W2, whichever one. Anyways, so again, it's just if. I'm just talking about the possibility that what if, right? For instance, I'm online. Now that I'm sharing my story, what if I'm red flagged? It made me harder to get a job, right? What if I'm taking a risk sharing with you guys my journey to also encourage you how to make an authentic career pivot? Now, again, that's not saying that you can't always do it. Former RTQ student, you, Laura, and Greg have always been transparent about job stacking. It's not for everyone. It's risky. Thank you. Yes, because people will hear my story and a person to say unethical on a post and this and this. Yes, you're just hearing all the waves of the income. But yes, in our program, we don't teach that. If someone asks me about it, I will give my perspective. I will tell you how I did it. I will tell you how I set up. I will tell you that it was frustrating at times. I will tell you the money was good. I will be very honest with you. But you have to understand that you are at risk, and you could possibly be unethical if you are supposed to be on that company's time. So if the company is more project management, they're just like, do your work, and you're just on task with the project, then you're fine. But if you're with a direct company A, direct company B, and both of them expect you to be 9 to 5 that time, technically you are being unethical. So I want you guys to be aware of that, because you will not say, well, Jenny job stacked. No, Jenny took her risk. I went from 40K a year to my household bringing in that much money without my business. My business was starting. So you're not going to, I did what I had to do, but I did the job. So I showed up for my meetings. I did my work, right? I was on task. I worked before and after work to make sure that everything was in alignment. But the bottom line is, I also had roles that did not require me to be sitting there the whole time. So I was on projects that was very much more project management. And even though I was considered like 40 hours a week, as long as I was on task, that company was fine. So the other aspects is that the company was okay with it. It was one that probably wouldn't have been. But that's also another company that I ended up releasing because I had to go to Cabo. Let's talk about another level of being unethical. Y'all want to talk about it? I'm going to tell you, I tried it. I tried it all. So I see somebody requesting, but we're gonna talk this out. When I left Atlanta to move to Cabo, can your program be taken? Absolutely. It's on your own pace, and and then you come to the calls. Our calls are generally 7 or 8 p.m. during the week. And then when we go on the internship, those calls are an hour a day for 10 days, but those are at 2 p.m. But they are recorded, and you'll be in a chat where you can get the recording daily to do your work. So the road to Q is designed around your life. But the internship is work. So you gotta be ready for that. So ultimately, let's talk about it. Y'all ready for me to talk about? Give me an emoji. Y'all ready for me to talk about what I tried to do living in Cabo and it didn't work? Give me something. Give me something. Do you want me to tell you how I tried to work remote and it didn't work out? Tried on one. So, I see a couple. All right, so when I was moving to Cabo, I had a role, and it actually was with a bank. Now the problem with that was banks don't let you work everywhere. You're on their proprietary system, but I landed that role also when I came to Atlanta. Now the issue was that I was actually honest with my travel. I was honest in the interview. I said, look, I'm between Atlanta and Cabo. I go back and forth from Atlanta to Cabo. I got a property in Cabo. Is this okay? The contracting company was okay with it. So my recruiter company was okay. That's who I was working for. But the actual client was the bank. I was testing their software. The bank was not okay with it. But I was not informed of that until the second week orientation that they did not approve that. So they gave me the job and the offer, and I tried to work it. And then went to Cabo, and I did a little hookity up system to hide my VPN. But thanks to Cabo always have electricity outages. I was like, I can't do this no more. I was stressed out. I had the VPN set up to hide my VPN so it looked like I was in Atlanta. I tried it, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I tried it. But let me tell you something. That issue was stressful. So I let it go. I let it go because it was stressful, and to me it was very much unethical. I'm trying to hide my VPN. So I'm not going to tell you guys. Can I save this? Yeah, I'll save it. I'm not going to tell you guys to do anything unethical. I only share what I've done, to be honest with you. VPNs can snitch on you too, but when I tell you I had a so I worked with a guy. It wasn't a regular VPN. Well, there's different types of VPNs, but so I actually, I got two places. I got a place in Atlanta, place in Cabo. Physically, I had a VPN in my place in Atlanta and physically in Cabo. So my one in Cabo communicated with the one in Atlanta. So I wasn't using one of those express VPNs. Mine was plugged in Atlanta communicating with the one in Cabo. Y'all got me? I had a whole install take place. So I could travel anywhere and it is going out. Yeah, there's still ways that VPNs can still snitch on you, but I would have to give them a reason for them to probably dig into that the way mine was set up. All right. I tried it, but the reason why I tried it because I was angry. Here I am landing this job. I was honest with the company and told them you was tapped in right. I was ready. I was like, I'm gonna try this. Y'all was stressed out. I was stressed out. I couldn't do it, so I was only able to keep that job for like 3 months because ultimately what happened was I didn't lie. I told them that I lived back and forth in Atlanta, Cabo, and the company was okay with the recruiting company was actually okay. So you're right. I actually was misled. So ultimately, I ended up giving up a job because I just didn't want to try no more. I could have kept the role because y'all know I come back and forth to Atlanta and Cabo. But when I'm in Cabo, when Cabo internet go out, you don't know when that junk gonna come back. So I'm highly unethical if I gotta be like, oh, my internet down, oh, this and this and this and this. Then I gotta retap to make sure that it's sending the signal from Atlanta to Cabo to make sure I'm high. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell y'all to do that. I'm not gonna tell y'all to be unethical in that way. Oh, so you couldn't work remote against company. I couldn't work outside of the U.S. They didn't care if I moved around in the States. I couldn't go outside of the U.S. with the actual company. So I really want to do what you do. I have finances. Karma. So Karma, you are the person who actually posted on my post unethical. And I love that. And that's why we going live. Shout out to Cal, whatever your name is. Because I think the problem is people look at my podcast and my posts as if it's to say, do this. I don't tell people do what I did. I tell people my story to be honest. Because my program teaches you to be ethical and teaches you how you can make an authentic career pivot. But the truth of the matter is my journey did not go that way. But anyways, ain't stopped me from getting a job, so I'm fine. Anyways, the point is that I want you guys to remember that you do still have to be ethical. I teach this in my program all day, right? But when you guys are online, you just hear and see whatever is on the podcast. But the truth of the matter is, you want to make sure that you are ethical. You want to make sure that you are within company guidelines. However, if you taking these contract, like you can have some contract roles. So I want you guys to also remember, contract still doesn't mean that you can work for 2 companies. All right? It depends on what you signed into, what you signed up for. Now you can have maybe you work in a freelance company, but you can still sign with a freelance company. But if in your contract terms and your employment, even for that contract, they're saying that you're supposed to be within their company or maybe non-compete. So maybe you're working for you're testing for a cybersecurity company. And maybe they don't strictly say that you can't work too, but they say that you can't work in a competing industry or something like that. You have to actually read your terms. But I want you guys to realize that you can be red flagged for different reasons outside of, let's even talk about outside of working multiple at a time. Again, I don't encourage job stacking. I tell you my story to be honest. But my story is to actually encourage you. My story is actually to encourage you that you can actually make an authentic career pivot. And that's what I teach. That's what I teach all day long. It's taking your transferable skills, adding something new on top. Appreciate the game you give. I'm definitely trying to right. But I want you guys to be honest. I want you guys to be honest. I want you guys to be honest, and I want you guys to understand that what I did, I took a risk. I don't have to do that anymore because guess what? I have the skills and the experiences that one role can pay me well. So I want you to focus on gaining the experience and the skills. But if you do the job stacking thing, see, I was asked to come on also specifically on that show to talk about that just because that's what he talks about. So I don't try to highlight that I job stack. I highlight making an authentic career pivot. I highlight actually gaining the skills. I highlight being good to that job. But you don't see that in the podcast. You just see all the other raws and everything and whatever they asked me during that interview. But the point of the matter is, let's focus on the fact that I've actually worked and landed 8 different QA roles with my skill level. I've actually helped 5 of my family members and friends who are QAs today. I actually have helped almost 100 people land roles from no experience, degree, or certifications. Let's focus on that. So let's focus on the process. What would you need for finances, the courses and stuff? Well, you can watch my free training at roadtoqa.com/free. If we are paying off student loan debt, we all should be secretly. When are you doing another major sale? Never. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I got too much more coming. Still gonna be cheaper than the high cost boot camp, but I promise you, my vision is bigger. It goes beyond me now. What other question do I got? Yeah, you have a lot of non-compete clauses. Yeah, you got to look at can we join your internship without? No, I'm thinking about doing something. So I am about to release, it's been a long time coming because I'm doing program updates, a crash course, a live crash course. But I just keep pushing it back because I keep adding. But it's not an internship. In order to go to my internship, you have to do my program because this is the thing. Even if you went to another program, so the crash course would be also like a refresher for those who've also been in maybe other QA programs. But internship is in my program. You have to do my program work because I can't teach you when you've learned somewhere else. How I teach is different than another program. So because I'm going to train you to think differently about your QA role. A lot of companies, a lot of trainings, you guys are getting in the market, you're thinking because something says automation, you can't go for certain roles, or it says senior, you can't go for different roles. So I have to basically retrain you so you can show up different in the market. Does that make sense? Let me know. What's the difference between RQA paying monthly a month or paying in full? Okay, so when you pay in full, we have currently, because it's going to be officially $997, $697, $897 is gone. When we turn this on at $997, I got mini trainings, I got guest trainings. It's not me no more. I have almost now a team of 5 plus 5 more coming because we're going to be actually adding really hardcore skill trainings, SQL, automation, everything in Road to QA. So it's still going to be cheaper. It's still going to be at that $1,000 price point, but you will not get no discount after that. We ain't doing it past that no more because I have a team now. It's not just me. And I know your first QA role is still an average of 70K positioning, meaning you make your investment back on your first check if you do the work and you keep going. So the difference in paying monthly is different. The only difference is monthly is there's an additional fee. So I think you pay an extra $100 more or $2 if you pay monthly. But if you pay in full at $897, you also get a 30-minute one-on-one with me after the internship, which I don't ever do any one-on-ones. If you actually take the discount of $200 and you join Road to QA at $697, you get access to the full program, but you don't get the 30-minute one-on-one. So you get it for $697 versus whatever the payment plan is. And then any updates that goes on within that program, year, you can do the internship, all of the things. What else we got? Any other questions? What? Hold on. You took my class almost 2 years ago, and now you're being offered a role as a QA manager? Hold on, I can't even tell hold on, I see your face, but I can't even tell. You know I can't tell your real name on here, girl. Damn me. I got a few students. Hold on. I got a few students with jobs in here. I just saw a few. Hold on. Would you DM me privately your name? We got to talk about that. First of all, we ain't gotta show your face, but you gotta talk to me. Do y'all always want to make me cry? I think they always want to make me cry. Oh my God. Are you serious? Yes, please do, because I'm looking at y'all. I kept saying the face, but you know I can't put the name in. You know it's a lot of y'all. Oh my gosh, okay. Y'all done you messed me up. Yeah, when I came out with Road to QA, it was just an ebook and master classes. So that means that student, unless she did one of my internships, because I did internships for a year to catch everybody up for free. Wow. Y'all, we are congratulating a student who just told me that she took my program to almost 2 years ago. And she's now being offered a QA manager role. Oh my God. She know how to do it. And I know her face, but I couldn't place the name when I saw her kept typing. Oh my gosh. Okay, what was I talking about? Girl, you know you done. Somebody say, I just brought the class. I really need to start. You better start. Let's go. Get in. roadtoqa.com. At checkout, you can use code, what's the code? Career 200 to get $200 off, but that doesn't include 30-minute one-on-one with me as a bonus. But the price will officially be $9.97 because we got recruiters, we got LinkedIn specialists, we got a brand new intro to automation module that's going to release in Road to QA. We got monthly intro to automation training calls that's coming. We have a SQL, a whole module on SQL coming. We're partnering with Super QA, Super QA admins from Super QA. So, hold on. I didn't know you was gonna say. I thought that's who it is. I just didn't know. I didn't want to say your name because I always remember from the kids. Girl. Okay. You know we gotta talk. First of all, okay. Are these new additions included? Now, yes, as long as you're in your active seat on the class pass after your year, absolutely. Can you get recommendation in internship for Scrum Master or Product Owner? What do you mean? Can you get recommendation in internship? I don't think I understand. Can you get recommendation in internship for Scrum Master or Product Owner? Hey, I know who that is. I know your name, Mr. Murphy. Program is landed too kind. That's right. I know your name. All right. Can you do QA with a felony? So with any role, it depends on the company. I'm going to tell you focus on the skill set, and it is possible because I know people that have felonies. Now, what type? It may depend, right? If it's something of like maybe theft or something of, that really shows like a mistrust, maybe that could be an issue, right? Because like, does that felony directly affect how they see you doing the job and accessing their systems? Again, I can't tell you that because every company is going to be different. Just like every company doesn't actually do the referrals. Every company, maybe doesn't care about degree or whatever. Every company's going to be different. What you're going to have to do is learn the skill, or for any company, what I say is learn the skill and the positioning, show that you can do the job, get the interview. And when you go through background, or even before you get the interview, be honest with the recruiter of what you have on your background and see if that's an issue. So when you get pulled, you can be honest about that. Or you can choose to not be and just let them choose you off of what you presented, and then decide if they feel like that background is going to affect you. So what I'm going to be honest and say is you got to do the work to keep pushing. It's absolutely possible, but that doesn't mean every company is going to be acceptable of that, and depending on what type. Is that fair? In RTQ internship, your company provides QA references. Can it also be for product owner or Scrum Master? Well, I don't directly teach that. Although we talk about it, and we are going to have many trainings and guest trainings coming. If you do the internship, I can't necessarily vouch for you for product owner, Scrum Master, because I haven't seen you do that work. So I would say that you can build references and referrals within the program, but I can't from my program because I can't do that. I need to get in the program just listening to your free material. I was able to change roles from BA to Q. What? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Now, you ain't got to get into the program. You making me smile just to know that. Just listening to your material, I was able to change roles from BA to QA. 1, I need this program. How can I start? What is the program plans? So you got a QA role. So you could go to roadtoqa.com, and it's $897 currently. The $897 paying for a bonus actually gives you a 30-minute one-on-one call with me after the internship. That's the only time I do one-on-ones. If you take the $200 discount and you enter Career 100 at checkout, then you can join for $697, get access to the full program with your 1-year seat, and you can join for $697. Payment plans are $199 times 5, so you will pay roughly $1,000 if you do payment plan, because I'm giving you access to our full program outside of that. If you're on the fence, take the leap, y'all. This is your sign. Your life can look different in 1 year, 6 months to 90 days. Oh my God. Thank you for that. I'm gonna be looking for your message, Lachey. You about to make me cry. No, I can't even look at you no more. Can someone with no experience get a job? Absolutely. Y'all tell them in the chat that y'all never had a QA job before. Tell them in the chat. Why do people? Right. Vanessa, you still on here? I saw your reply. All right. Any questions? So we talked about being Career 200. Career 200. Capitalize it though. Career 200. Career 200. Career 200. And I'm so excited. Yes, I want to continuously improve my skill and get some automation. Yeah, so our program, we're just now adding intro. Well, we have an intro to automation, intro to API. We're about to grow that. We have a release we're doing. That's a firm release in a month because I have someone else producing that. When I'm actually updating the program, though, from the core that I teach, it's hard, y'all, because I see so many things I want to improve. And let me tell you, let me give y'all a sneak peek. Y'all want a sneak peek? Y'all want a sneak peek at the new page? Let's see if I can do a sneak peek. All right, so sneak peek, do you have to code in this field? So I am teaching my students, we're adding intro. We have intro to programming, and then also intro to automation. Python is coming, intro to Python, where they'll do a full end-to-end project. We're adding that. But to land your first one, no, I do not feel that you have to learn to code, right? I do feel that you very much should understand and be familiar with understanding at a high level the basis of HTML, CMS, CSS, or just something. And then maybe understand a little bit of Python, being able to articulate intro to automation or being inside of an automation tool. So I'm never going to tell you, you shouldn't know something, right? That's going to make you a better asset, but that doesn't mean that you actually have to do that to land your first role. Once you join this lifetime, nope, because I got too many team members that come and show up weekly and daily to support Road to QA. Road to QA is a 1-year program. So, so we have two different, hold on. So we have two different ones. So red flag example, yeah, we'll go over that. I'm glad to hear about the, okay, so, so if you got your resume, first of all, let's go back to that question. I'm glad to hear about red flags. So don't think that you just been red flagged, that your phone ringing. If your phone ain't been ringing, then your resume needs to be looked at some more. So there's a few ways you can do that. We do the monthly call. We do the monthly DIY hot seat. So come to those calls and we can maybe give you some feedback, and then, or you can learn from those. Please watch the replays because a lot of students have been helped from that. Then on top of that, post it, take off your information, post in the community and let us support you. All right. So, and I don't care if you say 1,000 companies you've applied for. Has the phone rang? If the phone ain't rang in 3 weeks, if the phone is not even ringing, we're not going to focus on the interview. If the phone isn't even ringing, you have a resume problem. And so if you went to a resume specialist and you feel like it needs maybe some work, that's where you come to the calls. You guys have to show up. You come to the calls, you post in the community, ask questions, and then we do now monthly DIY hot seats. We had 2 now. So go in a portal and watch the replays, because that could maybe help you improve your resume some more. All right, if you need that. If you also went to that service for Lori, if you went to her, then I don't know if she also gives you like a redo after certain times, because that's at that point she's also a different service. But you don't have to be alone in that. So I encourage you to come to the calls, watch those 2 replays. They're inside of the community, as well as post it. Take your information off to get feedback. Don't let 2 to 3 weeks to pass and then your phone isn't ringing at all. Again, we can't focus on it. Companies take time to hire. So you still have to keep pushing. I don't care if you told me you applied for 1,000 jobs. If you apply for 1,000 jobs, I don't care in a day. If your phone hasn't ring, that means you might have the resume still needs to be worked on. So let's start there. All right. As far as the payment plan is, it doesn't come. So the difference is that you still get access to the full program, but you do pay more on a payment plan. So it'll be $199 times 5 payments, so $199 today, then 4 monthly payments. No problem. No problem. We're here to support you. All right. What else we got? What was I saying? I think I was saying something. So, and another thing I want to talk about, if your phone even rang, first of all, to that student who's saying, okay, your phone, maybe it didn't, even if your phone still needs your resume still needs some work, I need you to congratulate yourself and realize that if your phone even rang, that means you're positioned as a QA. Let's congratulate yourself, because I think we don't congratulate ourselves enough, because I know we want the job and we want the pivot. But that's nothing more than another step. First, you had to trust yourself and trust. Well, first you had to trust me and my program, right? Then I can't tell from your name if you went to internship or not. But first you had to trust me and my program. Then you had to say yes to yourself and invest. Then you had to do the program, like maybe do the internship. Start to put your resume in a market and invest. And even if your phone did ring, you're still trying to get interviews. Please congratulate yourself. Let's stop taking away from the fact that we haven't got a job yet, or that we're still tweaking our resume. Like the average company. The average time it takes to land a role is 6 to 12 months, period. That's average in the market and in the state of the economy. But you are you are now, congratulate yourself, because you've now positioned yourself to get something else. That's the point of the program. All you need is one, all right? So I want you to congratulate yourself, because if the phone even rang once, that tells you this is possible, right? So you just got to keep going. Let us support you. Can we make it to the internship? If I join? No, internship, you have to go through the full program and do all of the assessments. And then the next one is July. When are the updates coming? I'm planning on very soon. Any day now. I keep pushing stuff back because I'm kind of anal in the updates I'm doing. But the updates, don't worry about the updates. Worry about getting the program when you start. Updates don't matter, because as long as you're active in your 1 year on a class pass after the year. So after your 1 year, we give you a complete discount, even as a previous student, if you want to renew for a year. And those go as small as $49 a month, and you can cancel that anytime after your year. So you don't have to renew. But my team comes on. My team is a part of Road to QA, and they are active in QA roles. So that's why we are not a lifetime company. What you do get access to is, now moving forward, you'll get access to what's considered our core training. So even if you don't want to renew, you can get access to the core training, but you won't get access to keep on having access to all the bonuses in the community after a year if you don't want to be on the class pass for the discounted rate for the next year, or $49 a month. And that's only after your 1 year. But in a year, if I update the program, you'll have access to whatever I upgrade, whatever I update. Yes, it's 1 year access. 1 year access, and we give you access to the core training only after your 1 year, if you want to continue to go back to that. But you won't have access to the community, the weekly calls, monthly calls, the replays, because my team is not just me. My team ain't free. Our time ain't free. Our team got QA roles. We think about it like this: for less than $1,000, I'm teaching you to position for a 70K skill. You want lifetime, and I'm not saying you, but to give lifetime access is not appropriate to my time or my team. We show up weekly and monthly. Sometimes we have 2 to 3 calls a week. So for 1 year, you have the training, the core training of over 40 hours of training, self-paced, we can go through. You have access to a weekly learning call, new members call. We have API call. Like, we're showing up for a whole year, regardless if you show up or not. You know how many times I've had a student, and I know life happens, but you know how many times I had a student say, I bought this a year ago and I didn't attend anything? So I'm supposed to give you another year of my time for free when you didn't show up. That's unfair. So no, I do not do lifetime. What we do is we do 1 year access with the option to renew on a class pass at a discounted rate as a previous student. And you get access to, if you miss that year, to get access again to the community internship and everything at a discounted rate. And I only do that for previous students. So no one else will ever get that rate. On top of that, we have updates and everything else. But what we're doing now is when you, after your year, you get access to the core training. So you'll still have access to the core training, and when I do the updates, you'll have access to the core training. But all of the extra bells and whistles, internship and community, absolutely not. I can't do that with love, because it's not respectful of my team also, who shows up daily and weekly to coach, train, mentor, answer questions for a full year, and they have families and life and sometimes 1 and 2 QA roles. Is that fair? Is that fair for me to be honest with you guys? Do you guys, do you advise someone to outside of the U.S. to join? Your option. I will say this. I'm going to tell you to do your research for yourself, because I can't do it for you. I'm going to tell you, our program teaches you the skill and positioning, which regardless of where you are at, is going to teach you that you can land a QA role. But you need to look and see what's available to you. So if you, in your area, actually, if you search QA roles and there's opportunity, then you have opportunities. Absolutely, we can teach you the skill, but that means that where you're going to be looking for roles is either remote or only in that area. But you have to do that research to make sure that that makes sense for you. How long did you say it takes? Every person is different. I'm talking about in general. The average company, the average person, when you're in the market for anything, it takes an average of 6 to 12 months. That's just statistics. Can you have people that land roles fast? Absolutely. I've had students land QA roles without ever coming to my internship. I had over 50 people before I ever had an internship land roles. I've had students I had a student that just came into my program October. She finished the program work and she came into the internship within January, and during the internship, she landed a role. Then I just had another one just land a role. They've only been in the program less than 6 months. Then I've had people where life had kind of taken a turn, and maybe they came back and forth the road to QA, pushed through, and then I finally landed their role. It takes time, because you're learning the skill, but then you have to position for it. All right. So all right. If you have any questions about, hey, Quenisha, yeah, if you have any questions, then email the help desk, and so they can reset everything for you. I say if you do at least 2 hours a day, the course, you can get it done in 60 days and then be ready for the next internship. But everybody's going to be different. Everyone doesn't learn the same. Do you need to buy a new laptop? Absolutely not. Okay, no problem. Was that fair? Any other questions? So ultimately, I came on here because I got to go. I got meetings. The questions are coming. Yeah, they're coming fast. So ultimately, I was going to show you the inside of like what we're doing now. Oh, is the payment plan credit based? So on the site, we have a credit based one, but you can actually go to, in the chat, I'll post it again, this link, and that's not credit based, but you're directly with us. So there are fees. There's an extra fee attached to that because we're doing a payment plan for you. All right. So I'm really excited. We have a lot of guest trainings and stuff coming on, but this is what I'm working on. I'm working on a lot. So so I'm setting the base for how I'm actually updating Road to QA. So this is me tracking how I'm updating everything in Road to QA. So everything's going to have, the PowerPoint presentation, the video, the post, captions, workbook. You're going to have your surveys. But now when you come inside of Road to QA, it'll kind of look like, I'm showing all my business. It'll kind of look like, let's see. Sorry, updating my husband's business and stuff. All right, like this. So this is kind of the new, thank you. Oh, we got so much more coming. So this is kind of the new process of Road to QA. So this is the new look of Road to QA. Sorry, they're cleaning. So inside of Road to QA, we're restructuring every single module now, like this. So every single module, you'll have the module and training videos. You'll have your downloadable worksheets. You'll have the actual terms that actually will go with that section. So now what's going to happen is, instead of just focusing on a high level of the terms, we're going to focus on each section so you can understand how the terms actually play in a day in the life of QA. Then you'll have your learning lesson. Then you'll have your real world scenarios. So in this scenario, we're going to give you scenarios on how it would actually apply on an actual role. So even before you come into the internship, you'll understand how to even articulate that if you didn't even want to wait to the end for the internship. I have some students, again, that's landed roles without ever coming to the internship. So we're going to teach you real world scenarios even before the internship, so you can understand how to applies in a day in the life. So if you want to get if you want to get in the market before the internship, you understand how what you learn can apply from you actually speaking it. Then any resources, assessments. Now, again, this is just a mock because I'm testing this out. And then any common interview questions. So based upon that section now, we're going to actually strategically focus on what interview questions you should be aware of and how to answer them based upon that section. And then you'll actually have a hands-on project. So what's going to happen is, and then obviously you have congratulations, move to the next level. So what happens is when you come inside of Road to QA, you'll get started. And normally it's a navigation down here, but I don't have one because I've completed everything. You'll get started inside of Road to QA. You're using navigation to move through the program. Inside of the program, you'll have assessments for each section. We have a lot that's being updated. But as you know, I teach through my 6-step skills method. So I teach you how to start with the understanding of QA and your current positioning. Then I teach you how to know and acquire, you're going to know QA term skills and terminology. Then we have a archive deep dives of 5 videos that really brings everything together. They're old, but they are really aha moments for everyone, so we keep them. Then we teach you how to improve your resume for the market, level up for the interview, load and skill up. We'll load your resume in the market and score interviews and skill up. Will our current RTQ navigate reset? Yeah, well, it's going to be a different one, so we're going to give you access. So technically, yes, it will be new. So it is going to reset because it doesn't play off of the old one, but you'll still have access to both if you choose. But if you're so even if you go through the internship, you can then move on to this one just to see the updates if you choose. Let's see. Then we have our little IA bot, Zoe. So you can, I don't know what I did. Oh, I got to log in. Hold on. On that note, let me turn the camera around while I log in. Any questions? So that's just like a sneak peek, but let me also show you our community real quick. Let me show you our community while I am trying to log in there. So anyways, that's like a sneak peek of kind of the updates. But then when you join Road to QA, you don't get just access to that. You get access to the community. You are not alone. So you get access to a community where you're going to welcome yourself to Road to QA. To the end of this week, the code is going to work. Next internship is July. So you can ask any questions in the discussion thread. We have pre-homework. This is where I challenge you to bring out your inner software tester, and you are actually going and looking at your previous jobs, and I'm teaching you how you can actually speak to your previous jobs from what you did. So your pre-homework is going to start with aha moments before I ever teach you. So these are students actually turning in their pre-homework inside of the community. So when you join the community, you go introduce yourself. You have a thread to ask any questions. We have a homework thread. Students are in study groups together. We have weekly new member calls. We have weekly mentorship calls. We have monthly DIY resume hot seats to help support you if you can't pay someone. We have interview practice calls. We have guest trainings. A lot of those are coming. Then we have monthly calls with me. Then students are posting their wins. I love this. We just had Sonia. She's our community mentor. She is her QA role, and she just passed her ISTQB. We had another student just pass hers, so I don't want to share all of their names, but you guys, you're not alone. This is me looking crazy because that's what I do, and I'm congratulating people. We actually have another student who landed a role, but I haven't released it yet. When I do Wednesday pop-ins, I do those. Then you have an interview prep feed. Oh, we have a weekly job board. So now what we're doing is I'm posting jobs. I had almost 20 this week, so we're really starting to, let's see. I gotta see, hold on. Weekly job board, I think it's pinned. Oh, here it is. So this last week, We had quite a few. And what I want you guys to realize is look at these titles. This is really important because a lot of my students are in the market, and I'm seeing that you guys are passing up senior roles because you're like, I'm not a senior. I haven't had my first QA role. No, look at the job descriptions. Because if I pull this, that means that I know that you guys can position about 70% or above for these actual roles. Senior QA analyst, QA lead, manual quality assurance. You see how these titles are different from company to company? So you guys are missing money out here because these are like almost 20-something jobs that I posted. So we have a job board. Then I have then I have also my graduates chat. So now what we do is, this is still new. So that's why it's not like a lot of our graduates in here because it's still new. But this is where our students are actually asking questions and talking about their days and what's going on in their actual QA roles. So these are students in the chat with actual QA roles, actually asking questions and talking. And only people that have landed their first role are actually in this chat, if they chose to actually be in it. Now, this is an example of our internship chat. Inside of our internship, when you're in a 10-day internship, you're actually literally in a day in the life with me. So does Road to QA help with, we don't do them one-on-one. We have hot seats, and we also, we do offer for $100 our one of our mentors to support you. But outside of that, we tell you where you can actually go. It's your choice. I have students that have done them themselves, have gotten help with our mentor inside of Road to QA, and etc. So it's going to depend on your choice. All right, so this is an example of the internship chat. So you're in a whole private internship group when you join Road to QA. Now we're also going to be doing this. This is new. I haven't released this yet to our students, but this is new. We're going to be having monthly or bi-monthly internship to market accountability calls. So these calls are strategically going to be just for people who completed the program and actually did the internship successfully. So that way they're not on, you don't have to just get on the calls with everyone else. These calls are strategically going to be to help push you, hold you accountable inside of the program. And I think that's what I got. Any other questions? So let's wrap up because I got to go. So don't get red flags. Just don't do what I did. So just because I work multiple roles does not mean I want you to be unethical, do anything unethical, or work multiple roles. I want you to see my journey, understanding my journey is to inspire you that you can make an authentic career pivot. It is possible. We do it in our program. We've done it several times. But understand that if you do work multiple, you have to read any thank you, Shauna. We have to, and Shauna is the reason why we got that graduates chat. Shout out to her. Like, she's the reason why. Like, she was like, I need some more. She is the reason why we got that. And so it's things like that. When I see that we are making updates, when I see, can an internship be done after work? Yeah. So when I see that, our students need something, I'm taking the feedback and we're making it better, right? So you guys, I hope this was helpful. If you choose a job stack, be careful, know what you sign into. Understand, I want you to be ethical all the way around. I share my journey of job stacking to be honest with you, and also to share that that's how I got my experience. But it's not to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, but I'm not going to tell you what to do, and I'm not going to encourage you to do it because I want you to protect yourself. So that's really all I got today. What should be the weekly commitment to the program in order to get to January? It varies by person. I say the weekly ultimately you need to earn all of your badges, go through the assessments. So, and you can attend the calls, but I think it's about you actually, getting through stuff. Can you get through each module, almost in a week? Now, the no module is a lot more because that's the core skills of QA. So definitely I was saying a no module, each section, you definitely need to be done with like basics of testing, agile. Like you can double those up and do those in a week. So do you guys help with resumes after we complete the program? So when you complete the program, when you have to actually start to revamp your resume, whether you do it yourself or you go to our recommended resource. We don't do that. That doesn't come in your program seat. So that's a whole another ball game. So it doesn't come with your program seat. So our whole mission is to be a self-paced hybrid experience. So as far as the resume, you have three options. We have a module that specifically talks about this and is already and is updated that we're about to release. But we have a new module. We have a module already. Then we do monthly hot seats where you can learn on the calls on how to improve your resume, get feedback. You can post in the community so we can give you feedback to help you improve it. Or you can go to our third-party recommendation. I think she averages about $350 or so, $350 to $500 for the people that I recommend to go to. And then the last thing is we are now offering inside of our program, one of our student mentors, she's helped like a few people who's gotten QA roles. She's actually helped them with their resume, and she does that for just $100. So, but we don't claim to be resume specialists. That's her adding support for people who can't afford to go to maybe pay the $350. So that's us supporting you that way. So I hope that helps. When is the next internship after July? July, August, September, October. October will be the last one for the year. And then we wouldn't start another one to January. All right, you guys. So I think I have to get off of here. No problem. I have to get off of here. But I hope this was helpful. You guys, please be ethical. Take my story and be encouraged that you can make an authentic career pivot, but understand how I got to where I am today. In order for you to understand how I got where I am today, I have to be honest with you. So it's not for me to encourage job stacking. It's not for me to encourage you being ethical. It's for me to encourage you that making a career pivot is possible. And that's how I got to where I am, to understanding the skills and the positioning to teach almost 100 people to do what I've done. All right. And do what I've done, meaning making a career pivot without experience, a degree, or certifications. All right. But I'm going to hold the replay. You guys have a great day. I will see you guys soon.